Call to order this regular council meeting for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindlock, and Raglan, the 7th day of September, 2022, approximately 7:02 p.m. Councillor Banks.
Yes.
Councillor Young.
Here.
Councillor Kofel.
Here.
Councillor Rutledge.
Here.
Second item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. The resolution says that the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindlock, and Raglan adopt the agenda as presented. I need a mover on that. Councillor Banks, seconder. Councillor Kofel. All in favor?
Yes.
And that is carried. Disclosure of pecuniary interest of any of the matters before us tonight.
I don't have any.
Okay, none. We have no delegations. Number 5, adoption of minutes. We, the council for the corporation township of Brunel, Lindlock, and Raglan, hereby adopt the minutes of the regular council meeting of August 3rd, 2022, and special council meeting of August 26th, 2022, as presented. I need a mover on that. Councillor Young, seconder. Councillor Rutledge. Any errors or omissions? Okay, seeing none, then I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Yes.
And that is carried. And we're now down to report on direction received, and these stem from the previous council meeting as a request from council. So the very first resolution says, be it resolved that the council of the corporation, the township of Brunel, Lindlock, and Raglan hereby supports the town of South Bruce Peninsula's resolution R 266/2022, dated July 19, 2022, RE physician subsidy. And further, that council directs staff to provide a copy of this resolution of support to the Right Honorable Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, John Yakubuski, MPP, representing Nipissing, Pembrokeshire, Avalanche, MP, representing Nipissing, Pembroke, Honorable Stephen Lecce, Minister of Education, Honorable John Yves Dubois, Minister of Health, College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario, and all Ontario municipalities. Right mover on that. Councillor Young, seconder. Councillor Rutledge. Any comments?
No.
Seeing none, then I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Yes.
And that is carried. The second. Maybe it was just one. Sorry about that. And we're now down to correspondence. The resolution says that we, the council for the corporation of township of Brunel, Lindlock, and Raglan, hereby accept the correspondence as presented. Any mover on that? Councillor Banks, seconder. Councillor Kofel. Are there any correspondence items that council wishes to discuss? Yes, Councillor Young.
Have we donated any money in the past to the Renfrew County Regional Science Fair? You know, because I know that's a local Renfrew County thing for the schools. And not that,
I'm not
No.
aware.
but I'm definitely in support of that. Yes,
Okay,
I would be too, because I think it's a worthwhile cause on this.
okay, so that would be item 711 then that you're referring to.
Yes,
Okay,
I would suggest we donate $100 to them.
so that would fall under individual sponsorship in the amount. Okay. So what we'll do is, Tammy, will give up a resolution. So the resolution, after discussion, the council for the corporation of Township of Melinda and Raglan hereby agree to donate $100 in support of the Renfrew County Regional Science Fair. We need to move on that, Councilor Young. Seconder, Councilor Banks. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes, and that is carried. So I now go back to the, before I go back to the resolution, is there any other correspondence that council wishes to address?
The paddlers co-op, is that just a notice to us so that we're aware?
Yes. Okay, so if there are no more items, I'll call for vote on the correspondence information items. All in favor?
Yes.
Receiving
Yes.
correspondence? Okay, thank you, and that is carried. Now down to items of new business. So right now, under item 8.1, we have a library board report, and that will be a verbal report from Councilor Banks. Okay.
The only thing we really talked about was, Karen, she's given up the position, I think it's the end of November. And they're looking for a new librarian, so if anybody knows somebody that, today, it pays pretty good. And of course, like everything else, it's going to go on experience. Also, they're going to get the fiber network is going to go into the library too. So that'd be a big help. And by the sound of it, I think they're going to make it sound they're going to build a new library on the same piece of property that's there. So when that's going to start, I don't know, we need to get a date for that. So basically, that's about it. Oh, yeah. Well, that used to be the Bell Building.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Any questions of Councilor Banks? No. Now we'll go down to item 8.2. It's the rural economic development and rural broadband, and there's a verbal report from Councilor Young.
Okay, I attended the Zoom meeting for this. Wasn't really sure what it was going to be. There was 117 municipalities that was participating in it. And basically what it is, it's a few Liberal MPs from out in Alberta. And they have started this group for rural municipalities Canada-wide to see what kind of issues you're dealing with. And they're kind of a shadow cabinet, so they want to find out what the issues are so that they can lobby government when they get power. Not really sure where that's going to go, but I suppose it doesn't hurt to listen, see what they're doing. One of the top issues Canada-wide was internet and cell service. They all have the same issues as we do. Trying to get grants, because I mean, when you look at our municipality applying for a grant, that includes the city of Toronto, the city of Ottawa, and the places that have the staff and the experience to put these applications together. Where do we stand in that pot? So, you know, they would like to see that perhaps the government would say, well, this is how much money we're going to have for municipalities under 10,000. And this is how much money we'll have for the next, because if the competition would be more fair.
Yeah.
So there's all these types of things, government funding, like what's going to happen now with, they're trying to make everything go electric. A large part of our funding comes from gas tax. What's going to happen to the gas tax? Like all of those types of things. So if I get the notification again, I'll look into it and see. Yeah.
Questions of Councilor? No? Okay, so now we're down to item 8.3. and this is winter maintenance of Creekmount Road. So the resolution says the council for the corporation of Township of Brunel and Dock Dragon continue the agreement with Carlo Mayo for the winter maintenance of Creekmount Road in the amount of $1,512 for the year. I need a mover on that. Councilor Banks, a seconder. Councilor Young, any discussion? I know there is a bit of a staff report. If sure if Jordan would like to review any of it. Or if council has any questions.
It's just that it went up by what, $200 or $300 a year, really, and you can't win, I mean, the price of fuel.
So yes, through the mayor, the agreement price did go up $225 just because the prices here. And it remains the same.
We've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It just wouldn't make sense to run equipment.
All the way up there, yeah.
Definitely spend more on fuel.
Oh, for sure.
I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes, that is carried. Now down to item 8.4. Fire Department Modernization Funding Request. Council for the Corporation of Township of Brunel and Dock Dragon accept the Fire Department Modernization Funding Request as presented and further directs the fire chief to sign a contract with Emergency Management Group for CRA and MFP services. So I need a mover on that, Councilor. Council, seconder?
That's just a discussion.
Yes. We have to get it on the table before we get a discussion. That's the recommendation. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hand this over to Jordan. He has a staff report for council. And read that, so then I'll have council ask questions.
Yes, thank you, your worship. So you'll see my report. I outlined two items of request for some of the modernization funding to help support the fire department. In a nutshell, in discussion with the office of the fire marshal, fire chiefs, these two services are much needed. In fact, the community risk assessment is a must. We must update it to a new format, 2024. That was so obviously other municipalities across the county are in the same situation. Right? There's some of the other fire chiefs have gone through the procurement process and found this company and brought it to the chiefs meeting. And anybody else who wanted to kind of tag along and do it and use that service was welcome to do so. So I reached out to them with a quote. This is what it's sent to me for a quote. So they're looking risk assessment is $7,956 plus HST. In doing research and talking with them, we found that they also perform master fire plans. And again, another very handy tool that the fire department can regularly feature, and it's highly recommended that we push forward with this from the open. Although it's not a legislative piece of requirement for the operation of the department, it was. We've been looking at this in the past. My thoughts is third party would be the best way to go. Try to do this in-house is it's not. Somebody else from the inside looking in. So they would offer that service to us and create the master fire plan for $27,974. This council agree with this. We do have the modernization fund there to use. I think these two pieces would fall within the requirements of modernization quite well.
What do you get for that master fire plan? Like, what does that involve?
So they, they look at everything. They look at our bylaws, they look at what we respond to, they look at our equipment, they look at our manpower, they look at our training. They look at everything. And they come up with a list of recommendations on how you can improve your services, modernize your services, streamline your services, where you're falling behind, where you're ahead of the game, and kind of lay out a map for you to progress to into the future. And it's
Councillor McCollum.
So just to be clear, the community risk assessment
Mhm.
is mandatory by 2021,
yes,
and that one is an in-house. As you were saying,
the community risk assessment, it can be, but it's gonna be quite a process to flip everything over from the old format to this new format and then restructure all of it. It's basically what it's doing is combining parts of our emergency management through EMO right now to reflect into this community risk assessment. So it looks at building stock, population, critical infrastructure, all kinds of different things, and it helps you plan what services you want to provide and how much you want to focus on. Let's say water rescue. We've seen a massive increase in water rescue.
so
And
somebody
maybe you
from
want
the
to
outside
focus.
still comes in. to do
Yes,
that.
yeah.
And then your master fire plan is not mandatory.
It's not what I would like to see it put in place. And so is the OFAC.
Well, it's no big secret what my feeling of the OFN is. They never completed the plan that they started with, and that would have covered that community risk assessment. So has there been any follow-up on them to complete that plan?
Yes. We haven't received an official letter from them stating that the review that they were started on, it's not going any further.
And, sorry,
So they conducted a preliminary review and found that everything seems to be okay, and they don't see the need to go any further with it.
But it was all part of this community risk assessment.
No.
Because
Community risk
so
assessment,
why was he, if that wasn't the case, why was he checking out where the fire hall were and all that sort of stuff?
the review didn't require him to check over the fire. They were looking at bylaws, they were looking at policies, procedures, training records. et cetera.
Yeah, but most of this is.
Under the master fire plan, yes.
And now it's gonna cost us $30,000.
That's not done by the one.
It's not done through the OFAC.
They're just passing the buck. is what they're doing. Everybody's passing the buck.
Any other questions there? Councillor, please, Councillor.
Yes, do we have a report tonight on what money is left of our modernization funding?
I don't have an actual report, but so January 1st, we had 275,487 to start the year.
We're at 75,000.
275,487. To date, we've spent 85,697, which leaves us a balance of 189,790.
And is any over 85,000 been committed?
I do believe there are a few items that are still being moved, but that we're still kind of.
Yeah. And have we spent any other than modernization funding on fire?
No,
So then technically we should use some of it for a fire department.
Yeah, I guess at that point, I mean, if you're trying to divvy up the modernization money
Among your
among your
departments.
departments, and I guess if this is the first request from the fire department. I realize the community risk assessment is legislation, so. It's have to proceed with that.
Make
Yes,
sure.
the master fire plan does tie into it. Council, your thoughts on this one?
Because you're spending 36,000 plus your HST basically.
Yes.
Well, we get
Oh, yeah, I know.
89 point something.
Max, yeah.
So, the fire master plan, someone that looks at the bylaws, I think it would be worthwhile for like our bylaws looked at. Because that is a process and to do it in-house.
Well, yeah, and if you're going to have the community risk assessment done by 2024. Reasonable for both of them.
You said the community risk assessment would be included in the master fire plan, so that's nice.
Could they do that? I don't know. No, but I mean, even if it is a little bit more, like not 3,000 more, but I don't
They
know.
could very well be. I asked for both at the same time and seeing how both of them have the same parts and pieces. I didn't actually individually ask.
Or what if you did the two of them?
Yeah,
I asked, I would like to vote on both. If we were gonna do both. So I assumed that they priced it at that. So who's to say that if I just ask for a master fire plan, they don't come back with another $8,000 tax?
And I would think most municipalities, when they request the same things, they get broke down into the two sections too. And legislation or option.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
but do you feel that fire or that master fire plan, we should have that? Yeah.
Well, I know for myself, I don't have an issue with the community risk assessment.
Yeah.
It's $8,000, but just unsure with the 28,000.
Yeah. Ask questions if you have any more.
I mean, is that something you could do further down the road? Do one at a time?
Yeah, but it's like, it'll be like everything else, you put it off, it's gonna cost more and more and more.
You might not have that
Funding.
funding available
Yeah.
at that time too.
And who's to say a year from now?
It
you
is.
ask for that same master fire plan and it doesn't cost $5,000 more.
Well, that's what I just said, yeah.
Or it becomes legislation, and you're gonna have to.
And then they will up the price for sure because you have to have it.
Well, probably no doubt in the future, it will be.
Yeah.
mandatory.
Once this is in place, like they say it's good for 10 years. Obviously, it's throwing shot in the dark.
Yeah.
2 years, you don't know what could happen, a piece of equipment or it's your man, or you don't know.
And
So it's a rolling, it's a live plan that has continuously be updated and looked at all along.
And a lot of that would be dependent on your municipality and how much it grows.
It's that too,
Growth,
exactly.
Yeah, and you have to have your master fire plan updated more.
But like, once the main frame is done, like that's something that we could probably.
I was just gonna ask that
To keep
question.
it alive.
If you got that done, 2 years down the road, we just keep, looking at it.
Always be updated.
That's right.
Review.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the master fire plan has never been done in some of the municipalities, so this would be a first. And then to say this would be kind of a stepping stone. And then ourselves.
we can at least do it.
So that's kind of a selling point for me too. So.
And I think with the liability too, if we have done something like this to make sure that we are offering the service the way we should and what we should, it would be more protection for us too. I wonder, would it make a difference for our municipal insurance?
Sure, it could.
That might be good.
Say for sure.
It should be worth something.
At least it's gonna be something we can look at, plan for, budget with.
Yeah, it's kind of like a capital plan,
It's.
like asset management.
Okay, any other questions on the resolution? Seeing none, would council like me to reread the resolution? On the screen, Jordan? Resolution. So I'm going to call, if there's no more questions, then I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Okay, that's carried.
No hidden. Well, I guess we're going.
Well, we've been already, the vote's been taken.
All right, so let's go ahead and gloss over pump stuff the way you would now.
Well, that's a quote you were given.
Should we have put the cost of them in the resolution?
Well, so we've already taken the vote, so the
Yeah.
cost is within the staff report, and I believe that's available for everyone to see.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine with that. Okay, so we're down to item 8.5. The corporation, the township of Brudenell, Lindbach, and Raglan accept the tender from Nat Core Environmental in the amount of $17,000 plus HSD for grant and construction and demolition waste at the Brudenell waste site. Any movement on that? Councilor Banks, second, Councilor Yon. And there's a bit of a report that goes with that, and I'll let Jordan talk to it as soon as it comes up.
Okay, thank you, your worship. So yes, like other years, we tendered for the grinding of our construction and demolition debris at our waste site in Brunel. They closed September 2nd at 2 p.m. And we received 4 sealed tenders. First was for national grinding in the amount of $30,000, $30,510. The second one came in Northern Bulk Logistics at $38,800. Third one was Sept for grinding at $19,672. And the fourth from Nat Core Environmental at $17,000. This is twice the response that we received last year. Crazy pricing.
Yeah. So it's-
Is this the company that we used last year?
No, we used Northern Bulk Logistics last year. So we're seeing quite a savings in our grinding this year.
Mhm.
So obviously this number fits the budget. Well within the budget. And
So is that company open?
we've got a commissioner.
Okay.
I'm under the impression that they received or were awarded tender for lease as well. Not sure about Killaloo. And so they're trying to recruit a bunch in the area. And that's kind of what these guys-
And it will be done this year yet?
It's actually moving location profile.
Questions? No, I'll call for the vote then, all in favor?
Yes.
And that is carried. Now we're down to item 9. And we have the financial report. It says that council for the corporation of Bruno, Lindbach, and Raglan accept the financial report as presented. I need a movement on that. Councilor Calfell, seconder, Councilor Young. Any questions of the financial report or any report from staff?
For the mayor, just for the public's information, there was a typo on the first report that was put out there, and it has been fixed. It's on the waste sites year to date.
So any other questions then?
Well, we seem to be well on track. But we do have some equipment to come in Yeah, do we? Yes, we have a truck. And a fire truck.
The road
Lot of gravel.
construction.
Yes.
Sorry. We'll say these.
Yeah, fall depends. I haven't seen both.
We have quite a bit of sand left from last year, though. Does the rain over the summer deplete the council? We have to.
Quick time for council's information. We put out a tender for winter sand issue. Just so we're, covered that the sand that we're receiving is up to a standard to apply to our roads or something ever happened. We have paperwork. Trucking, stacking, everything will be improved. Save wear and tear on everything. So.
That's a good plan.
So for this year, the game plan is to move the pile of water here, stack it and put fresh salt in it. Take care of this pile.
And those tenders are to do.
There, do back Friday. Heard from one so far, seems to be interested, so hopefully this is something.
Yes.
So I will be coming today.
Yeah.
So I'll fill you in on that.
Any more questions on the financial report? No?
No.
Okay, so I'll call for the vote then, all in favor?
Yes. Yes.
That is carried. Okay, so we're now down to bylaws. Item 10.1. First bylaw is that we, the council for the corporation township of Bruno, Lindau, and Raglan, hereby adopts bylaw 2022-44, being a bylaw of closed highway and part of the road allowance along the shore of the Madawaska River. Do I have a mover on that? Councilor Young, seconder, Councilor Banks. Any questions of the resolution, the bylaw? The staff wish to contribute.
I didn't see a map or a map where it is, what's going on with the customer?
Through the mayor. This is the shoreline road allowance for Cowboys Co-op and James River. River, so all the maps have been presented, the surveys have been presented, there's been no comment back, no appeals. It's just the final step in the closure of the allowance. So
Other questions? See none, then I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's carried. Item 10.2. To appoint fence viewers, sorry. That we, the council for the corporation of Township of Bruno, Lindau, and Raglan, hereby adopts bylaw 2022-45, being a bylaw to appoint Raymond Boots, David Smallpiece, Ronald Hartwick, Richard Baldock, and Amanda Fandenauer as fence viewers, and to fix the municipalities' reasonable fees to administer the Line Fences Act. I need a mover on that. Councilor Banks, second, Councilor Papa. Any questions on the bylaw? There's a staff report. If any staff wish to review with council.
I just gave some information, so our existing bylaw doesn't make the act where we need to have a minimum of 3 fence viewers appointed. We don't have that right now, so to be in compliance, we have to appoint a minimum of 3, and it's great if you have more, in case somebody can't make it or sick or something. And there's just another sheet there, just some information about line fences and how it proceeds through the township.
So how brought you to getting who we have? The one. No, it's not.
How do we get
The
the
names, yeah.
names of people?
We tried to pick a variety from all areas of the township.
Okay.
To avoid any conflict of interest.
I think it's a good one.
And I know we had 5 accept, and I know you contacted one. So very fortunate, very thankful to those who put their name forward. So
Yes.
any other questions? I can vote then, all in favor?
Yes.
And that is carried. Now down to item 10.3. And it's a resolution that's to resolve the joint municipal position recruitment and retention committee that we, the council for the corporation of the township of Rudnell and Knocknaregan, hereby adopts bylaw 2022-46, the bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk treasurer of the township of Rudnell and Knocknaregan to execute a bylaw dissolving the joint municipal position recruitment and retention committee and all associated agreements to this committee and program with and between the township of Rudnell and Knocknaregan, Township of Gilbert and Richards, North of Wilberforce Township, Township of South Algonquin, and Madawaska Valley Township. And you are on the resolution.
Can I ask a question?
You can first put on the table.
Oh,
Any mover, Councilor Banks, seconder, Councilor Crawford. Questions?
Yeah, how come we're dissolving it?
Because that has been the decision of the mayors, sit on and the council representatives to dissolve the position recruitment committee. After many meetings and come to the conclusion, I did do a presentation to council in the past closed session of council. I outlined why at this point in time the mayors just feel that it's the province's responsibility to be looking after healthcare. And it's not in the best interests of municipalities to be involved in the position. It's a provincial responsibility.
Okay,
That's what it's.
it's just that I just didn't think it was just, we're just opting out and everybody else was staying.
No,
It's
no.
everybody.
It's everybody, it's all. it's
I
all-
thought we had already done that.
Not by bylaw, no.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
any other questions?
No.
No? And before I call for the board, I just got a few things to say. So during the mandate of the physician recruitment committee, we did manage to recruit 10 physicians and have several different medical students come to the area. And this is since December 2018. So, and like I said, at this time, the committee believes it's time that healthcare needs are best met and managed by the province. And just from a personal level, it has been a pleasure working with members of the committee. Working with an all-female committee, other than myself, was a pretty grateful experience. I must say, I couldn't have asked for a better bunch of mature individuals to work with. So my thanks goes out to the chair, Jane Dumas of South Algonquin. She was the chair of the committee. My thanks to American Love of Madawaska Valley, Mayor Janice TJ of Gilbert and Richards, and Council Representative of North of Wilberforce, Janet Rankin Schoenfeld. And also I want to thank the staff of Madawaska Valley for the administrative role that they have and had and will continue to play in the management of the existing commitments. So if you read through the bylaw, it basically says the responsibilities of Madawaska Valley and how they manage that money that's there. It manages the commitments to the physicians that are still involved in the payment program, et cetera. It also is in there that says any of the funds left over, council will receive a yearly update from the treasurer from Madawaska Valley. And any of the funds at the end will be dispersed back to the participating municipalities by the percentage that they paid in. So any other questions? And I'll call for the vote, all in favor?
Yes.
And that is carried. Okay, so we have no closed session of council. So we're at confirmation bylaw that we, the council for the corporation of Township of Rudnell and Knocknaregan, hereby adopts bylaw 2022-47, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the September 7th, 2022 regular meeting of council. I'll need a mover on that. Councilor Young, Councilor Banks, seconds. All those in favor?
Yes.
And that is carried. Now to adjournment, that this meeting adjourned at 7:41 p.m. and all I need is a mover on that. Councilor Banks, and the meeting's adjourned.
Oh,